Southside United Time for Kids. Great to see you. What are you doing on your holidays? What have you been up to? We went and saw some dinosaurs. Roar! Wonder what you've been doing. Love to hear about it. Well, wonder if you're at home or if you're away. Maybe you're on land that different people have cared for. The Yagara and Turrbal people have cared for this land. We pay our respects to elders past, present and emerging. How about where you are? Who has cared for your land? And how do you continue to care for that land? We're going to care for this land, for it's God's land. Talking of God, we need to say our prayer. Guess that means I need to stand up too, doesn't it? All right. Ready? From the top of my head to the tips of my toes. From the lows of my ears to the end of my nose. From the back to the front to wiggly fingers. God loves me! Yay! We're going to talk about someone who wrestled today. So let's sing My Lighthouse. Wrestling and in my doubt, in my failures you won't walk out. Your great love will lead me through. You are the peace in my troubled sea. Oh, you are the peace in my troubled sea. In the silence you won't let go. In my questions your truth will hold. Your great love will lead me through. You are the peace in my troubled sea. Oh, you are the peace in my troubled sea. My lighthouse, shining in the darkness, I will follow you. Oh, my lighthouse, I will trust the promise. You will carry me safe to shore, safe to shore, safe to shore, safe to shore. I won't fear what tomorrow brings. With each morning I'll rise and sing. Your great love will lead me through. You are the peace in my troubled sea. Oh, you are the peace in my troubled sea. My lighthouse, shining in the darkness, I will follow you. Oh, my lighthouse, I will trust the promise. You will carry me safe to shore, safe to shore, safe to shore, safe to shore. Fire before us, you're the brightest. You will lead us through the storm. Fire before us, you're the brightest. You will lead us through the storm. Fire before us, you're the brightest. You will lead us through the storm. Fire before us, you're the brightest. You will lead us through the storm. My lighthouse, shining in the darkness, I will follow you. Oh, my lighthouse, I will trust the promise. You will carry me safe to shore, safe to shore, safe to shore, safe to shore. Great singing, it's wonderful. God is always with us. Well, as I said, we're going to talk about someone who wrestled today. And when I was a kid, used to watch wrestling. And they'd go, "Are you ready to rumble?" So let's say this morning, are you ready for Grover? Ready? 1, 2, 3. Are you ready for Grover? Grover, what? Gotcha. Grover, what are you doing? Gotcha. Grover, what are you doing? Wrestling. No, we're talking about someone who wrestled. We're not wrestling. No, we're not wrestling. We're talking about someone who wrestled. I've been practicing all week. Sorry to let you down. Maybe you can wrestle Oscar or someone. Oh, okay. Well, who is it? Well, we're talking about Jacob. Oh, Jacob had some interesting things happen to him. Yep, let's look at Jacob's life. God promised Abraham that he would have a great family. But he only had one, and Sarah only had one son, Isaac. And Isaac married Rebekah, and they couldn't have any children. But then God did something amazing. And Rebekah gave birth to 2 sons, Esau and Jacob. They were twins, but they weren't very alike. Esau was big and Jacob was small. Esau had red hair, Jacob had dark hair. Esau was hairy, and Jacob had smooth skin. Esau liked to go hunting, and Jacob liked to stay near the tent, looking after the sheep. Esau was the firstborn, so he would get all his father's goods when he died. Isaac liked Esau the best, but Rebekah liked Jacob the best. And Jacob didn't think it was fair that Esau should get everything. They were born on the same day after all. One day, Esau had been out hunting. And he came home and he was very hungry. And Jacob had made some stew. And Esau asked him to give him some. And Jacob replied, I'll give you some stew if you give me all father's things when he dies. Esau didn't think about it. He said, what's the use of father's things when I'm hungry? And so Jacob gave him some stew. And they made an agreement that Esau would be like the firstborn son, that Jacob would be like the firstborn son. Well, Isaac was old. And he decided that he wanted to bless Esau. And so he asked Esau to go and give him and catch some wild animal and then make him his favourite stew. And then he would give him a blessing. And so Esau went out. But Rebekah wanted Jacob to have the blessing. And so Rebekah and Jacob made a stew from a lamb instead of going to catch a wild animal. And they covered Jacob's skin with fur so he would feel hairy like Esau. And they put Esau's clothes on him. And so they took the food to Isaac, and Isaac thought that Jacob was Esau, and he blessed him. And when Esau got home and discovered that Isaac had been tricked and given away the blessing that was his, Esau was very angry. And he wanted to kill his brother. And so Rebekah told Isaac to let Jacob go to their family to find a wife. And Isaac agreed. Jacob quickly raced off to Haran, where his family lived. And on the way, he stopped one night. And he took a stone to use as a pillow. And as he slept, he dreamt of a ladder reaching up to heaven. And the angels were going up and down the ladder. And he heard God speak and say, I am the God of Abraham and Isaac. And I will give all of this land to you and to your descendants. And through you, the world will be blessed. And when Isaac woke up, he knew that God had spoken to him. And so he poured oil on the rock, so he would remember this. And he called the place Bethel, which means the house of God. Jacob travelled on, and he came to Haran. And he was at a well and there was a beautiful girl getting water for her flocks. And it was Rebekah, the daughter of his mother's brother. And so he went to Laban, Rebekah's father, and asked that he might marry Rebekah. And Laban said, "If you work for me for 7 years, I will let you marry Rebekah." And so Jacob worked for Laban for 7 years, and then he was married. But when he saw his wife's face, he realised he had been tricked. He'd been married to Leah and not to Rachel. Well, Laban said he would allow Jacob to marry Rachel if he would work for another 7 years. Jacob agreed. So finally, he and Rachel were married. And Jacob worked for another 7 years for Laban. And God blessed Jacob's work and the flocks under his care. After 21 years of working for Laban, God drew near to Jacob and said it was time for him to head back home. And so Jacob gathered all of his things and headed back. Jacob was worried about meeting his brother Esau. Esau had wanted to kill him. And Esau was drawing close with 400 men. Jacob was very scared. And that night, he drew away from his family by himself. And something strange happened. Someone came and wrestled with Jacob all night long. And the stranger touched Jacob's hip and put it out of its socket. But Jacob held on. And the stranger said, "Let me go." But Jacob said he wouldn't until he received a blessing. And so the stranger said, "I am the Lord. From now on, you won't be called Jacob, but you will be called Israel. For you have wrestled with God and with people and have prevailed." And so he blessed Jacob. Jacob knew something special had happened. And so he named that place Peniel, which means face of God. For he said, "I have seen the face of God and wrestled with him." Well, Jacob travelled on, and as he saw Esau drawing near, he knelt down and welcomed Esau. But Esau came up and gave him a big hug. Eventually, Isaac died, and Esau and Jacob buried him. Now Jacob, also known as Isaac, became the father of 12 sons. And these became the fathers of the 12 tribes of Israel. I wonder what part of the story you like the best. I'd like to pause and talk with those who are watching with you. I wonder what part you think might be most important. I wonder what part of the story you might be in or might be about you. Well, there's a lot that happened. There's a lot. He was a bit naughty. He was a bit naughty, wasn't he? He kept trying to trick people, and then people started to trick him. Reminder. But the story that we're focusing in on Sunday, he wrestles with God. He's there alone, and an angel or God turns up, and he wrestles and he says, I want you to bless me. Bless me. And sometimes we might feel like that. Oh, yeah, we're going, oh, God, please answer my prayer. Please answer my prayer. Come on, I'll wrestle with you. Yeah, we don't get to physically wrestle, but we might wrestle. Or we might not be sure about something and go, oh, I'm not sure about this, God. Oh, yeah, like wrestling with our thoughts. That's right. That song, In My Wrestling and In My Doubts. That is a part of faith. Oh, so I'm not bad when I'm wrestling with thoughts? No. You're not bad when you're wondering who God is. You're not bad when you wrestle, but that's part of our faith. And as we wrestle, we discover more about who God is. And that becomes great because our faith grows even bigger. Oh, yeah, and gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, like a big, strong wrestler. That's right. So we need to wrestle. So don't be scared when you might have questions, might have wrestles. It's part of our faith. We're going to look at a few people over the next few weeks, and we might do our story the same, where we look at their whole life, as we've done today through Godly Play. Well, holidays, hope you're having fun. We might see you over the weekend. If not, we'll see you again next week. Bye, everybody! Bye!